Alright, let's talk about the most complicated, frustrating, and fascinating machine on the entire planet. Us. Today we are cracking open a user's guide to ourselves, digging into the hidden forces and, the invisible strings that pull our thoughts and actions, and we're doing it all through the lens of Robert Greene's incredible deep dive, The Laws of Human Nature. So, to get started, I want to ask a question that probably hits pretty close to home for every single one of us. It's about those moments. Those really confusing moments when our own behavior just makes absolutely no sense. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's when you blurt something out and the second it leaves your mouth, you're like, why did I say that? Or maybe you find yourself falling into that same old self-destructive pattern for what feels like 100th time. You get all excited, you jump into a project, and then weeks later you look back and think, what was I thinking? That was such a waste of time. It's confusing. And honestly, it can be really, really frustrating. Well, Robert Greene, he actually gives this feeling a name. He calls it a stranger within us, or to be more specific, our emotional self. Think of it like this powerful primal part of you that's always humming along just beneath the surface, operating way below your conscious awareness. It's pushing you, pulling you, and directions your rational mind just can't quite figure out. And just seeing it, that's the very first step toward actually getting a handle on it. So, how in the world do you do that? Well, Greene doesn't just present his work as another book to read. He presents it as something more like a code book, a tool for deciphering the incredibly powerful, hidden forces that dictate so much of what we do, and more importantly, why we do it. And here's what's so wild about this whole idea. It's a core illusion that Greene just shatters. See, we love to tell ourselves the story that we're these rational, logical beings, consciously steering the ship of our lives. But Greene argues, no, that's mostly just a nice story. The reality, we are deeply, profoundly emotional creatures. We're driven by these ancient primal forces. We are subject to unseen patterns that were forged over millions of years of evolution. But here's the good news. The payoff for learning to read this code is, well, it's immense. It can totally transform you into a calmer, more strategic observer of people. It gives you the tools you need to spot and outmaneuver those toxic personalities that can cause so much chaos and damage in our lives. And maybe most importantly of all, it gives you the power to finally understand and even master that stranger living inside you. Okay, let's dive right into the deep end of the very first law, the law of irrationality. And to really see it in action, we're going to travel back in time, all the way to ancient Athens, to watch a tragedy unfold. A downfall set in motion not by some foreign enemy but by human emotion itself. This timeline, it just perfectly captures the city's tragic downward spiral. Look, under their leader Pericles, Athens was all about cool-headed reason. His plan against the rival Sparta was patient and defensive. He told them, avoid big emotional land battle. Use our powerful navy and just wait for Sparta to wear itself out. It was a brilliant plan. But then, disaster. A horrifying quake hit the city, and with it came panic, fear, and delirium. Pericles died, and it's like rationality died with him. The Athenians, now driven by raw emotion, greed, anger, this sense of invincibility, they launched a disastrous, overconfident attack on Syracuse that completely shattered their empire. So what on earth happened there? Well, the Athenians fell victim to some really powerful cognitive biases, especially this one. Confirmation bias. They were so swept up in the desire for a quick and glorious victory that they only looked for and listened to information that confirms that desire. Anything that contradicted it, they just ignored it. And isn't that something we see all the time today? From investors who refuse to see the red flags in a failing company, to, how we consume news. We seek out the voices we already agree with and just dismiss anything that makes us uncomfortable. The Athenians saw exactly what they wanted to see, and they let them right off a cliff. Okay, let's move on. Let's look at another law and see how these ideas build on each other. Because this one touches on something we all share, and we to some degree. We're talking about the law of narcissism. What Greene does here, which is so useful, is he puts us all on a spectrum. So on the far end, you got that healthy narcissist. This is someone with a really solid sense of self-love. And that resilience allows them to focus outward, on their work, on other people, with genuine empathy. Then in the middle, you have functional narcissists. This is where most of us hang out. We have a pretty decent self-image, and that helps us manage our day-to-day insecurities. But then there's the other end of the spectrum. And that's where things get dangerous. Right, this is the world with the deep narcissism. These are people who lack any stable inner sense of self-worth, so they become completely dependent on attention from the outside world. It's like they need a constant stream of validation to feel alive. And they don't see other people as individuals, they see them as tools, as extensions of themselves, just there to provide the attention. Let's look at a showing historical example to see what the warning signs look like. Yeah, Joseph Stalin is a truly terrifying case study, and his patterns give us a really clear checklist of red flags. The first sign is that extreme sensitivity. They're so prickly, any tiny perceived slight, taken as this profound personal attack, and it unleashes this terrifying rage and vengeance. Next, you'll notice how they project this myth of being perfect, being superior to everyone else, while at the same time demanding absolute control, treating people like puppets on a string. They create constant drama because they have the center of attention, and often, they seem to genuinely enjoy the humiliation of others, like when Stalin would force his top generals to get drunk and slow dance at each other just for his own amusement. These aren't just personality quirks, these are giant flashing warning signs of a dangerous inner void. So look, here's the most crucial point of all of this. Learning these laws isn't just about spotting dangerous traits in historical tyrants or even the people around you. Fundamentally, this is about turning the lens inward. It's about our own internal landscape and the potential for incredible transformation. We now use that there are these two paths, two selves inside all of us. On one side, you got what he calls the lower self. This is our more animalistic, reactive side. It's driven by emotion, it's defensive, it's always looking for immediate pleasure. The easy path. But we also have a higher self. This is a more truly human part of our nature. It's thoughtful, it's self-aware, and it's capable of deep, powerful empathy. And that is the whole point of understanding these laws. The law of rationality, the law of narcissism, all of them. It's so you can consciously choose which self you want to live from. By becoming aware of our own emotional biases, our own tendency towards self-absorption, we suddenly gain the power to counteract them. We can actively, consciously, cultivate the rationality and the empathy that really define our higher self. Ultimately, human nature isn't good or bad. It just is. It operates like a code, like a kind of programming. And for most of human history, we've just been fumbling around in the dark, controlled by this programming we couldn't even see. So the question that Green really leaves us with is this. Now that the codebook is available, will you learn how to read it?